making sun tea. So I put some tea in water, spring water actually, in a ball jar. I'm just leaving it upside down and shaking it every 20 minutes or a half hour. And then it actually is really awesome. And I drink it with a bombilla. This is actually a Yerba matè straw. This one's metal. There's also wooden and bamboo ones. You can also make your own out of bamboo. And this is how I drink tea, instead of having to strain it out and use a bunch of extra tools. So I could always have tea on the go in the forest whenever I want, as long as I have herbs available, which are everywhere. There's eucalyptus. I can make eucalyptus sun tea. And it gives tea. Solar charging and tea making in the park. Using barely anything, no fire, no machines, no stores. Just spring water and herbs. And that's how to get your medicine. That's a start to getting your medicine. And drinking herbs from the land itself taps us in to a much deeper level of connection with the earth, nature. And this is pine, and I can also break up the pine needles and do it the same there, and just put it in water, and then I'll actually leave it there for an hour at the least. I can keep it going for 6 hours. I can make it really strong. I can leave it overnight, and that would also give me a tea in the morning, so you can travel around and always have herbal tea, even if you're traveling in a backpack and you keep a ball jar. Another thing I do with a ball jar is, if I do go to a place, I can use them. So if you go get coffee from a coffee shop, just tell them to fill your ball jar. I'll put a rubber band around it when I have one. That enables me to hold it when it's hot. I also can build fires in proper places and proper ways to heat tea, and so also I can easily make coffee or tea anytime without having to go to a grocery store or a store to pay $6 for it. And you can then get coffee or tea in bulk or harvest it from the land, and that enables you to save gajillions of pounds of cardboard, styrofoam. Because think about cardboard is chopped down trees, and you need fossil fuels to make that. And they bleach it for some odd reason, and that causes fossil fuels to do that process, those machines that have to run. And then they're also lined with petroleum. So those cups are lined with a petroleum basis, so that's more fossil fuels, just to ship you a cup that you use one time and throw in the garbage. So this is causing tremendous amounts of waste. It's quite distasteful, especially for the future, for our children. And all anyone would have to do is just have their own reusable jar. So it's also a good teacher, because when I work with one jar like this, it takes, hopefully a year or more to break. And it's lasted a really long time. So a year is 365 days. And that means that I would stop 365 cups from going in a landfill. Right? And think about millions of people. Think about 6 billion people on the planet drinking coffee every day, throwing a cup into a landfill. And if you use styrofoam, it's not biodegrading. It's going to take a very long time to biodegrade. So we're literally making graveyards for shit, for crap that we actually don't need. And all you'd have to do is actually have a reusable jar. And another aspect of that is that if you're using fossil fuels, etc., to ship that cup just to throw in the garbage, to use more fossil fuels to get it into a landfill just for one time, then what happens is, in all that fossil fuel burning, we also have the problem of carbon emissions. And carbon emissions are a huge problem. They've been linked to 5 previous mass extinctions. It can be seen by geologists in the rock record, and they literally can go into the rock and see that carbon spikes are always associated with mass extinctions, right? So the Earth is multiple millions of years old, hundreds of millions of years old. And out of that, we're in a position where we actually have carbon in our fingertips as a global culture. And we're not really making effort to get ourselves out of that predicament. And we might be actually the first species to cause a mass extinction to themselves. And that's really weird out of a higher thinking being. So carbon is a huge thing that isn't being talked about or taught. And we need to start considering it as a culture, as a global culture. There's not really a lot of discussion in politics or anything like that around. And it really is based on the one question of where do you get what you seek? Where does it come from? And who's behind that? And who has to work? And are you working? And for what? And how much carbon is being put in the atmosphere as a result of the use of material, otherwise known as nature, to provide basically a falsified economy that is just about scientifically proven to not be producing happiness and sense of purpose. You know, there's tons of pharmaceuticals being used. There's depression rates skyrocketing. People are miserable, scared of what's going to happen on the planet, scared of politics, scared of World War III. And there's only a way of human beings actually taking their own personal power back to being able to do something. And if each person actually does something, it causes tremendous amounts of change. All the fossil fuels that we're using to throw away those cups provides a very crappy industry behind basically the middle class to burn up the environment for just capitalism, for economic gain. And the problem is that the people don't receive it back. We know that. And health is not changing, healing is not changing, quality of life is not changing. But we're just basically burning up the environment, and very few people actually want to talk about it. And so part of this periscope discussion is going to be about discussing those things and educating ourselves about positive changes and possibilities. So many blessings to you all. Take care.